Let's have a look at the first sort of definitions that we're going to have to be looking at for this course. Because we're looking at the philosophy of artificial intelligence, we've really got to work out what artificial intelligence is and how we can sort of distinguish different types of artificial intelligence. That's what we're going to do in this lesson here. Okay, so in the lesson specifically, we're going to look at and examine a number of different issues. So first we're going to look at how we should define a computer and how other philosophers in the past have defined computers. We're also going to have a look at the understanding the meaning of artificial intelligence. What does it mean for something to be artificially intelligent? And then we're going to distinguish two quite important concepts, the distinction between strong AI and weak AI. Okay, so this is something that was going to come up a lot throughout the rest of this course. So defining a computer. So the first place we should really start is by looking at the dictionary definition. This is what the dictionary definition says. So it's an electronic device for storing and processing data, typically in binary form, according to instructions given to it in a variable program. So this is quite a nice place to start. However, this is not where we're going to finish when we're looking at how we can define a computer, how we can look at really what it means to be a computer. There's a number of problems with this. It's quite a very broad definition. It simply just defines it as a machine that processes data, and this data is usually transmitted in binary, and that's about it. Whereas there's quite a lot more that we can sort of get from our definition of a computer. So can our understanding of artificial intelligence help us to deepen our definition of computation of a computer? Well, let's look at artificial intelligence now and then develop what our understanding of artificial intelligence, and then come back to whether or not we can change and get a deeper definition of a computer itself. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence? Well, artificial intelligence is a theory that some computer systems may be able to perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. That's the basic pragmatic understanding. And there are two types of AI that we look at when we're looking at the philosophy of artificial intelligence. So there's the idea of strong artificial intelligence, and then the idea of weak artificial intelligence. Strong AI, what we mean by strong AI is that a digitally programmed computer necessarily has mental states. Okay, it's a very strong definition. It states that with strong artificial intelligence, we will literally have mental states. We literally have a computer that can understand and has a mind. So it has everything that an organic human intelligence would have: a mind, mental states, the ability to reason and understanding, and the ability to use logic and to come up with original thoughts. This is the idea of strong artificial intelligence. So a computer with strong artificial intelligence literally thinks, has a mind, and would understand a human having a mind. Okay, so it's the same kind of understandings. When it comes to weak AI doesn't make the same kind of commitments as strong AI. It really, all weak AI means is it doesn't posit that computers literally have minds, but rather that computers could simulate and replicate mental states and could replicate artificial intelligence and could simulate it. So really, with that being said, how can we use these two understandings to look at what actually is a computer? Well, there's a number of philosophical ideas that we can look at here. So the philosopher Tim Crane, in his work The Mechanical Mind in 2016, asked the question, what actually is a computer? And he believed that we should forget about what he called sort of contingent properties of computers, so a screen or a keyboard or a graphics card, for example, because these are things that could be replaced, and you could have a computer without a computer screen, you could have a computer without a keyboard, for example. So these are things that would be called contingent properties of a computer. What we want to know is what are the actual properties that every computer has. Okay, what makes it what are necessary for it to be a computer. And he came up with a number of properties that a computer has. So a computer is a device which processes representations in a systematic way. It is an information processor. It is a manipulator of symbols. Okay, and it really, it can systematically, manipulate and transform different symbols into different ways. It can process information in different ways, and it represents information in what was known as a systematic way. Okay, so this builds upon our original Google definition of a computer. We looked at what a computer means when we have sort of the basic definition, the broad definition of a computer, as simply something that processes data, and that data is usually processed in binary. But we can also add layers to it, and that's what Tim Crane did in his book Mechanical Minds. So how can we understand these processes of computation through the lens of strong AI? Because strong AI is the most important that we should be looking at. So computation and strong AI. According to strong AI, the processes that occur when a computer exercises a program are genuinely intelligent. It's genuine understanding and intelligence. It genuinely understands what it's doing and can genuinely think about the processes in question. So it's exactly the same as how a human would understand it. So we can look at some examples of strong AI in science fiction. Like I said, I didn't want to be using the sort of dry philosophy and going through lots of philosophical papers, but rather taking the most important bits out of it and then applying it to real world fiction, and science fiction. So the real world fiction and science fiction. So a very good example of strong AI comes from the film Ex Machina. Okay, and we're going to look at talk about this in a lot more detail in another lesson. But in this film, the robot Ava is perceived to have strong artificial intelligence. This means when she's performing actions and tasks, she's genuinely thinking and understanding what she is saying and what she is doing. Okay, so this is a good example of how we can, conceptualize strong artificial intelligence. This version of artificial intelligence is actually heavily criticized, and we're going to look at a number of criticisms later on in this course. So in this lesson, we've learnt about what a computer is, how we can define it, and how we can define artificial intelligence, and we've also looked at the distinctions between strong AI and weak AI. So the questions for this lesson is really: do you agree that computers have strong AI, or that could computers ever have strong AI? And are there any reasons to reject the idea of strong artificial intelligence? Those are two important questions that really we're going to look at more and more as we develop this our understanding through this course. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how we can test whether or not something is genuinely intelligent, and we're going to start by looking at the Turing test.